too. So thanks again for coming. Happy Friday. Everyone, write in the chat, please. Is there something you're planning, you and your family would like to do this weekend? Either tonight, Saturday, or Sunday. So I'm going to open up the chat, see if you could write anything in this weekend's plans. So I think for me, my son keeps asking to carve the pumpkin that we bought, but we have to time it right, because if you carve it too early, then by the time Halloween comes, it's like, so if we try to make the design now, it might like melt or essentially decompose on us. That sounds like a good word of the day, but it's not the word of the day. Let me show you the, let's get started. So, Orchard morning meeting, October 16th. All right, so if everyone, as I read, please come off mute. I need to move my screen a little bit. All right. Our vision.
Our vision.
To transform teaching and learning.
To transform teaching and learning.
Through technology integration.
Through technology integration.
And providing the highest quality.
And providing the highest quality.
Educational experience.
Educational experience.
That ensures creative.
And
inventive thinking. With a science, technology, engineering, and math focus.
With a science, technology, engineering, and math focus.
In student-centered classrooms.
In student-centered classrooms.
And kitchen tables.
And kitchen tables.
Yeah, and living rooms.
And living room.
And bedrooms.
And bedrooms.
All right. So guys, we this year is all about transforming teaching and learning. Maybe last year Orchard had this same vision. It did, but this year it's a little different. We're actually transforming teaching and learning through technology integration. So somehow, whatever group wrote this vision, Ms. Hainline and the team of teachers and families, now it's actually like really, really happening. So, so we can be excited about that. All right, the word of the day is patience. You guys can either write in the chat or come off mute. What do you think patience means?
You said patience?
Yeah, patience.
Patient means being really, like waiting for something.
Waiting for something, nice. It's hard not to use the word patience when you're just using the word.
Impatience.
The opposite is impatience, that's good. So Nyla said waiting for something, but it's a quality of waiting, okay? So this word, when you look at where it comes from, it's kind of like, what? Because you're right, it is a quiet or calm in waiting for something to happen. So you don't have to just be waiting like, oh, I'm waiting. When's it gonna happen? Woo, that's impatience. You're still waiting, but you're just like meditating, or you're drawing, or you're thinking about stuff you want to think about. You're passing the time. So truly, guys, there's a lot of school, and you know better than me, because I haven't been a student for the last 15 years, right? But you know, there's a lot of waiting in school. You do need to wait a lot. And as a teacher, it's hard to make sure that we have like everything working and that you're not waiting. So it's up to you to have the calmness and quietness just waiting. Of course, you don't have to. You're at your homes. You could be all impatient. You could just be, when's it going to start? Or you could choose to be quiet and calm. So this is actually a virtue, and it comes from a really weird place. It comes from another word, a Latin word, paciencia, which sounds like Spanish, but it actually originally comes from another word, pati. And pati means to suffer. So how is patience like suffering? So when you want something, when you really want something and you can't have it, it's kind of like suffering. So you guys could think about you really want something to happen, but you have to wait for it. Maybe you really want for Saturday because you're going to that farm maze and you're just like, I want it to be Saturday already. It's your choice to have the virtue to suffer calmly, or to get through the waiting in a way that makes you feel better. So that is the word of the day, patience. Everyone in the chat, please write something sometime when you've had to be very patient. I'm going to start. I've have to be patient when all right, so Nyla says, oh, Nyla's thinking about it. Ian says, when I lose a game. So that isn't patience, but that is a good virtue. That's a good quality, Ian, to not be upset when you lose a game. But patience is waiting for something to happen. So my example is, my kids sometimes won't go to sleep. It's bedtime. It's past bedtime, but they still are like, oh, give me water, or let me read this book. Let me, oh, I just need this one thing to go to bed. And meanwhile, like maybe I want to watch TV. Like last night, I watched Cobra Kai. I watched like so many episodes of it. It was so fun. And of course, I'm a sensei, so I'm like, wow, what kind of sensei am I going to be? So really fun to watch, but I had to wait for my kids to go to sleep. But I was nice. I waited patiently. Another example from the chat is when I have to wait for other people to race. So Tariana, a great example from track again, just like yesterday. When you're in track, when you're in any kind of sport, you learn these qualities like waiting, waiting for your turn. That's a great example. Nyla says, when my dad was not here, I wanted to play Minecraft, and my mom says, well, wait till your dad gets home. Oh, why can't I do it now? No, wait for your dad. Wait for your dad. He'll do it. It's a great example. Yes, Christian, you put in the chat you like Cobra Kai. Thank you you're the one who suggested it to me with your background image. Precious says, when I wait for the teacher to let me into class. Great example. All this technology, sometimes the teacher is trying to figure out what buttons to push to make it work. And if you have to wait to get into class, be patient. What I would do if I were you is always have something to draw whenever you're waiting, or write. I'm going to get you guys all these little books that are really miniatures. Here you go. So these books, I got a whole stack of them. They're for students who are impatient in class. They could be like, you know what? No problem. Take your time. I'm going to write a story or a poem or lyrics. I'm going to, because writing is an educational thing. All right, so great examples. There's one more I want to lift up from Layla. She says, when there is something I have to wait for the code, that it's clear. Layla, I don't understand your patience, but you have to oh, there's another example. When you have to go to the bathroom. Yeah, that's hard to be patient and calm when you're like, I really want to go now, and you can't. You have to be patient. Great examples, guys.